Greetings, fair and mighty poltroons across the grand spectrums of time and indeed the multiverse. I am Gordon Johans. Now, today I am going to be reviewing the new Statesman. No, not the newspaper magazine thing in Britain, but the television series that starred Rick Mayall as the Conservative MP Alan Bastard. And before I get into the actual review of the TV series, I will say that I've been watching these sort of political shows as kind of an insight into the satire and the way politics has been presented in the sort of the more recent decades, over the years. And obviously there is no way that a tiny-dicked, creepy, paedophilic, rapist, monstrous, madman, imbecile could ever possibly have any impact or bearing on any public figures in the world today. I mean, certainly there is no way that things like a mad narcissist trying to lead us out of the European Union and the common market for his own political gains, or indeed attempting to pervert democracy and the market for the sake of his own selfish ends, those have no bearing on anything that's been happening today. Certainly not the small penis part. That's no politician who is prominent in the world today is a massive, creepy rapist who is also a tiny-dicked fellow. No. In all seriousness, though, Rick Mayall's Alan Bastard is not like any other politician alive today, because Rick Mayall's Alan Bastard is charming in his own abhorrent way, and because he's played by Rick Mayall, is a damn handsome fellow. And certainly there is no politician who is currently at the forefront of British politics, or indeed global politics today, who is in any way handsome. In general, the New Statesman is a very odd show, because it's almost a cartoon, in the sense that it constantly displays horrific, graphic violence and plays it for laughs. And yet at the same time, it is attempting to satire and thus therefore be pseudo-realistic about how horrible it is being in terms of the portrayal of the characters and the effects that these are having upon the world and the populace. In general, though, it's very one note. The joke is basically, look how mean Alan Bastard is. Look at the horrible things that he does. Ooh, isn't it funny that the nice dim person gets beaten up? Ha 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 ha. Admittedly, I do find myself slightly more easily manipulated when it comes to the, ooh, isn't his nymphomaniac wife incredibly hot and sexy? Because yes, she is. And indeed, there is an episode that features essentially a beautiful actress who is into BDSM, and yes, that was that was an episode that had its own particular delights and pleasures. But in general, and the New Statesman, well, it's kind of like the news in the sense that it's like After a while, you get the message. The Conservatives are fucking horrible people. You've got the joke, right? And it sort of, it keeps being played out and played out and played out, and so it's at a certain point you're more just admiring the handiwork of this complete bastard. You know, like, how is he gonna pull it off this time? And there are indeed occasions where, you know, I find myself admiring what a success that Alan Bastard has made of this horrific venture of the episode. But yeah, it's not really hot on political satire. At least there's nothing really relevant for today. Indeed, there are some dodgy elements to it. Certainly dodgy when it comes to the kind of sexual politics of it, and the fact that essentially the first series includes one of Alan's sort of, I suppose, cohorts, colleagues, associates that he sees as assets, is essentially, okay, I have to be somewhat careful of phraseology and yet also aware that a good proportion of my audience are knuckle-dragging Nazis. There is an individual who, at the beginning of the series, identifies and goes by, in society, as a man, and by the end of the series, goes by and is trying to live out a life as a woman, and it's kind of like this whole character arc throughout the series is partly so that, you know, there is an excuse for Alan Bastard to keep needing to do all these dreadful schemes because he keeps needing the money to pay this this friend of his who needs the money for the various different operations and what have you. And then it all finally finishes off with some dreadful sort of jokes with regards to Alan making use of the fact that his old friend is now a woman, and thus he can make use of that with regards to various dirty dealings in politics. And then, you know, with the aforementioned sort of the kind of expected horrendously transphobic jokes of like, there's the man about to sleep with the transgender woman who still got a penis. And so, yeah, not good. And, you know, the fact that his wife is basically, yeah, a careerist who is a nymphomaniac who is going around with everyone. And the fact that, I mean, like, it's a small thing. I did not mean for that to be, well, but yeah, it's a small thing. But, you know, the fact that Alan having a small thing is so consistently made light of, it's not particularly great, and you know, like, I mean, it's like the fact that Alan Bastard is an evil villainous shit is kind of championed, and it's like it's a triumphal flourish of, look what a bastard the bastard is. And then it's like, but he has a tiny penis though, you know. And he comes in under a minute. You know. You know. We really do need to get working on the, you know, the white cis men with small penises movement, right? We do need this sort of, you know, the men with small penises liberation movement, you know. The movement to fight against the patriarchal idea that men have to have big penises. I mean, presumably, this is where the idea of men being so terrified of being cuckolded by black men comes from. They're so utterly terrified of how small their dicks are and how big black men's dicks are that they're like, no, I can never let anyone who has seen my penis be anywhere near a black man lest they see how tiny my dick is. Yeah. Yes. Turns out what cucking really means is your wife finds out just how tiny your todger is. And the fact that we're still bothered by that. I mean, admittedly, there are certain practical implications and complications that come from having a smaller than average penis, but I'm sure to all of the alt-right people out there, all of the Nazis out there with their very tiny cocks, I'm sure they all understand what I mean when I say that there are practical implications to having a tiny penis that nobody really understands, do they? Sorry. This has been a party political broadcast on behalf of the Men with Small Penises Party. Make people proud to have a small member. No. It's alright. It is basically at a certain point the isn't Rick Mail dashing and charismatic show, because at a certain point it's just like, yes, we get it. He is awful to people. The country is worse because of him, but we don't care because he's bloody Rick Mail being dashing and charming. At a certain point it does basically become Lord Flashheart, the TV series, if he was evil. To be honest, Lord Flashheart really should have gotten a series. Maybe if they do a TV adaptation of Flashman, that would be cool. And now I really am sort of tangenting and digressing. It's alright, it's cute. I mean, I must admit, I do like the sort of the kinky stuff, and the women in it are just fucking glorious. But yeah, it's just kind of the same jokes told over and over and over and over and over again. So I suppose actually the Nazis among the audience will love it, because you all love telling the same jokes over and 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 over again. As for me, I'm more interested in the plots and stuff, and I mean the fact that the TV tropes page for the new Statesman is about as small as Alan Bastard's penis kind of makes clear just how truly pathetic and meaningless the new Statesman is. Anyway, I'm probably going to watch Twin Peaks next, because it's literally like, yeah, you know, thing on my thing to thing. Anyway, yeah, see ya. Thank you to all my Patreons at patreon.com for helping to make videos like this possible. If you wish to leave a like or dislike to rate the video for my analytics, that would be much appreciated. Comments are always welcome, though be aware that they will be moderated before being published, so please be civil. If you liked this video, please consider adding it to your favourites, sharing it to your friends, or subscribing. If you wish to help me out, or my channels, please consider whitelisting my videos in your adblock software, subscribing for monthly donations through Patreon, or giving a small one-off donation. Alternatively, I have a Steam wishlist for games I would consider let's playing or streaming, so if you would like to see me broken before the Dark Souls altar, or just happen to have gotten a duplicate of a game in a humble bundle, then you know what to do. I also have an official Facebook fan page, Twitter account, Tumblr, Reddit and blog, so you can stay up to date with all of my videos, blog articles and the things I care about. Links are in the video description. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I think that all that now needs to be said is ban all guns, institute universal basic income now, and ensure government is elected by proportional representation. Oh, and also fuck the racists and fuck the alt-right.